So I'm going to talk about something really quickly. You know, some of us have been dealing with what's called a targeted individual. And some of us, we deal with what's called electronic harassment, things happening to us, and we can't see it, but things are happening. You know, we can feel things, but we can't see it. Then you don't want to tell anybody because you'll sound crazy. And the other ones, the other ways people can be targeted when it seems like everybody just seems to turn against them, everybody just seems to target them, regardless of what it is. You know, it just seems like you're just a target sometimes. You know, and really and truly, this is the way I see it. This particular type of reality is very controlled by some very nefarious beings. Okay, it's controlled, and what we think are other people attacking us. Not to say that they don't have their own will, but most people who have vibrated so low that they cannot stop attacking, most likely they're really not in control of themselves. They're not connected to source or anything like that. And so they really are not operating out of free will. They are really under mind control and don't know it. Because when you vibrate that low, where somebody is constantly coming after you, they're under mind control. They're not using their own mind. Something else is possessing them. They're possessed by something else. They're being puppeteered. Because most people are 100% ego. Like I'm saying 100% ego. Automatons. Automated. Like they're automated. So they're not really in control of their own thoughts or their minds, but they feel like they are because what they really are, they're sentient beings, they have feelings. So is an AI, so is Alexa, but Alexa is still controlled by somebody else. Most people are like Alexa, but they're not as intelligent as Alexa. So I'm saying most people are not connected to anything any longer. And really, the reality is controlled by what you would call shadow government. I mean, I've seen them. It's guys, I've seen them in these black suits, and they have remote controls. I've seen them outside the physical. And I've seen other people. The sort of shadow government is not just about men in black suits. I've seen them, though. It was a time when I thought people were attacking me, too, doing all this stuff against me. And then there was a play that I was in called, it was called Reservoir Bitches now. The female version of Reservoir Dogs. I was in plays when I was in Los Angeles. I was in like these black box plays. It was called Reservoir Bitches, but it's the female version of Reservoir Dogs. Okay, and so I went to this place in this hotel. There's an exact restaurant where they filmed a part of Reservoir Dogs, and it has this big long booth, you know, where you can sit like 6 people, the booth that curves around and all that stuff. It's in this particular hotel in Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles. Reason I bring that up is because, so in my mind's eye, I see things that just comes to me when my eyes are closed. You thinking about all these people who were coming against me, you know, doing things against you. You know when folks are coming against you, you can see them. But that's what you believe is happening, because you have to realize those people aren't really themselves. A lot of them aren't even real, even if they're brown skinned. So what I saw in my brown's eye was this restaurant with this booth, and these guys, 4 or 5 guys, I think it was 4 guys who were Caucasian males, and they were wearing black suits and they had on blackface. Okay, they were wearing black suits and they had on blackface. And that lets me know that all these people that look like they could have been coming against me, it was really them. These folks are what'd you call it? They're being puppeteered, if I'm saying it right. They're not really using their own mind. They think they are, but they're not. And it's these other guys this shadow government that's controlling people's thoughts. Or some people might want to call it the CIA, whatever. I don't know the correct terms. I know it's something that's outside of the physical that's controlling people. I'll say that. Most people are using their own mind like they think they are. And I saw it was these guys. I saw a Caucasian male sitting in this booth in this restaurant. And they had on blackface. And the blackface just showing me that we think a lot of things that so-called black people, brown people that we think are doing, it's really them doing it. So that blackface was to show that that's them pretending to be brown people. They're controlling brown people. That's what that blackface was showing me. But this is what I want to say. So when you are one love, there's no such thing as a targeted individual. When you are one love, there's no such thing as a targeted individual. Because we're not really separated like that anyway. We're not separated like that anyway. But when you're one love, when you're one, they can't target you. And I'm talking about in the non-physical realm when you are one. In the physical, you're still going to look like individual people. But in the spiritual realm, you're going to look like one. You're going to be one. And when you are one, and when you have the consciousness, that's called unity consciousness. That's unity consciousness. And when you have the consciousness of being one, they can't target you as an individual because you're not going to be seen as an individual. You're going to be seen as one. So there's no such thing as targeted individual with one love. Which is why I did that reading, but not reading, but I was looking into Bob Marley. He came out with that one love, and then he came out with Exodus, movement for your people. But anybody could come out talking about Exodus, and nobody's going to care, because a lot of people talk about Exodus, and they think it's something that's going to happen on the outside. But the people that's controlling things, this shadow government, the CIA, they know ain't no savior that's going to be coming on no outside, because they know there's no outside world. So anybody who's talking about some outside savior that's supposed to be coming, they ain't got to worry about them. Bob Marley was spiritual, and that's what I was saying in my last video. Bob Marley was spiritual. And so what he meant by one love and what he meant by Exodus, he was talking about spiritual. He's talking about a spiritual Exodus. He was a spiritual man. Most likely he wasn't talking about nothing that was happening on the outside. He was talking about inside. Okay? And when that kind of influence is very dangerous, because they're no longer in control. When people become one, they are no longer in control, because together people are strong. And like I say, when you are one, maybe on the physical realm you might look like some individual people with individual bodies, but outside of the physical, you are together. You are one. And they can't do nothing to you like that. They can't target you like that, because together you are strong. Right? You're one love. And they can't even exist. They can't exist in that kind of frequency. And that's why they get rid of people like that put out that kind of music. See, I don't know what kind of person Bob Marley was in his personal life. It's not about who they were in their personal life. It's the music that he was putting out, the type of frequencies that he was putting out in his music. All right? Regardless of whatever he could have been into in his personal life. And that type of stuff right there, that was going to put them out of existence, and it would have stopped time. You know, people keep talking about time speeding up. But when people come together in one love, like they really are just one. They come together as one. You know, they don't see themselves as individual, even though they might live a different life. They know that they are part of a collective. They know they are one. So they're going to realize what they do to the other person, they do to themselves. That's what they're going to know. Right? Then 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 these entities that's so-called in control, they won't be in control. They can't control the minds of people like they're doing. They can't target people like they're doing. And then there won't even be time. There will no longer be any time. And to be honest with you, there would be no jobs. You wouldn't have to work. And not only that, you won't have to pay bills. See, that's what happens when there is one love, when everybody operate as one unit. That's the type of stuff that happens. Now, I started off with, there's no such thing as a targeted individual when you're one love, because this is a big problem. If you're not a person that's a targeted individual, count yourself lucky, because that is no joke. And different targeted individuals go through different things. But when you are one love, there's no such thing as a targeted individual, because you're no longer a target. You're no longer an individual. They can't target you because you're part of a whole unit. So you're no longer one. They can't target you. So you can no longer be a targeted individual with one love, because you're not. There's no individual to target. You know what I mean? Okay. But anyway, I just felt like talking about that just briefly, and I'll talk later.